What is up, my lovely, lovely podcast listeners? This is your host, Rafal Machewski, and I'm psyched today. I'm really, really psyched because my new ebook cover has come in and it looks amazing. I'm going to be sharing it a little later this week, and it's perfect timing because it's my anniversary of my first ebook that I released 2 years ago now. And I'm doing a special sale this Saturday where my book is going to go for $15, or its original price is $57. So keep an eye out for that link when it drops, and keep an eye out for my new book cover for the Ironclad Body Training System Volume 2. I'm so pumped. But let's get into the show, because I could probably talk about my new book forever. But anyway, we're going to go back to the topic of like nutrition, weight loss, and stuff like that, because as I was walking towards my car, I was trying to think, like, what are the common questions that I get from, new people that start with me? And usually one of those questions is, so what should I eat? And it's so funny that this is one of those questions, because people assume that, what they're eating is just not good enough, and there's some, like, special combination of foods that take you into like a fat burning zone, and because I'm a trainer, I know the secret. There's no secret. And really, if you think about it, like, the reason why trainers are fit is because they dedicate time to their week for exercise. And on top of that, they consistently, on a regular basis, choose better food options. And they've been doing that for a long time, and that's why they're fit. Whereas the client will have a high stress job, more responsibilities, and don't sleep too well, have poor food choices, and they don't move enough. That's the only difference. But if we were to get into that question a little bit further of specifically, what should you eat? Right away, my first question to my client is well, what are you eating now? And usually what the main culprits for almost every single person is that they don't eat enough protein, they end up having shitty sleep. And I bring up sleep all the time because sleep is a regulator for all of our hormones. Guaranteed, if I had somebody working with me that had the worst eating habits ever, and they slept for 3 to 5 hours on average per night, if I got that person sleeping 8 hours a night, deep sleep, they'll lose weight. Guaranteed. Just changing that one thing. Now, what I often see is people will describe a really good dinner on a daily basis. Lunch is a hit or miss, and breakfast is either non-existent, or they have breakfast but it's a piece of toast, or a banana because they're trying to eat healthier, or I bought this whole grain cereal from the health food store, and I also added nuts and seeds, and then I splashed some honey on there, and then I put some oat milk on it, and I just and it just keeps going. And all of that is great. All the foods I'm describing are fine, but when it comes to priorities of what you should be consuming on a daily basis, and there I go, sneezing. And it's so funny, I think a couple weeks ago I was talking about how I never sneezed on my show, and then I had 2 episodes back to back where I sneezed, and here I am again. But anyway, again, there's no bad food. That's another thing. And fuck, I'm going to go all over the place with this episode. Emotional eating, right? The moment I said bad food, that's like the number one thing that I just started thinking of is emotional eating. Emotional eating has nothing to do with food. It has to deal with emotions. And I stole that from something I saw within my nutritional people circle. And people tend to forget our emotions drive our behavior, And sometimes those emotions will attach things like food to help satisfy, pun intended, cravings that we don't have as human beings, right? So stress, sure. Relationship bullshit, sure. But our bodies tend to do stuff like that. They like to get into addictive behaviors if they're not getting enough of something else, right? And food is very available to us, at least here in North America. It's very easy to just go down the street and buy yourself a burger or fucking get someone to deliver to you if you really want. So a lot of times where I get that question asked, what should I eat? And people tell me, dinner's okay, lunch is a hit or miss, breakfast is either non-existent or like one thing or like too many things, and then random snacks. And then at the end of the night after dinner's done, people tell me they'll like munch on things. So I'm like, okay, well, let's try to unravel all that. I've spoken on my show so many times of what people really need to eat. Protein, like adequate protein, vegetables, minimal carbs. That tends to work quite well. There's no secret. There's no, if you eat exactly at 7 p.m. with this amount of grams of whatever and added with this detox tea and green tea extract, you're going to melt the fat away. No. And people who fall into those detox teas or detox whatever, detox diets, are the people that have had issues losing weight forever. And you also got to understand that the diet market, the diet business is so large. They spend billions of dollars every year to market to you specifically who is struggling with weight loss. And it's so what's the word I'm looking for? So shiny that you need to have it and you think that's what's going to fix all your problems. But the fact that you can't lose the weight the last how many years you've been trying is not because you're not, following the right diet that you found online. It's a combination and accumulation of bad habits over the years. If you think about back where you were in high school or early college years, you haven't developed those bad habits yet. It's not until you become a full functioning adult where you start having really late nights, you have a couple kids, you eat whatever is around, you don't eat enough, you start drinking more, whatever it is, you stop exercising, you're not as fit, your metabolism gets a little bit slower, boom, now you're in your 40s and you're like, what the fuck happened? You now have to undo all of that. So no matter what diet you follow, if you even find people who go down that route of following a strict diet or detox, whatever the hell you want to call it, for 12 weeks, 14 weeks, whatever it is, they'll start losing weight. The moment they stop, it all comes back. You haven't taught yourself anything other than I'm going to deprive myself as long as possible, see the result I want. When I stop, it's all going to come back, and I'm just going to repeat the process. And now I probably created more metabolic harm onto my body where I won't be able to, who knows, regulate my blood sugar as effectively as it was before. This is why this shit doesn't work. So a lot of times when people ask what they should eat, what they're really asking me is like, I'm so fucking confused with all the information out there. I have no idea what I should be eating. Is fruit gonna make me fat? And if I drink protein shakes, is my kidneys gonna explode? Am I supposed to do keto? What the fuck is keto? Like, all these things are going through your mind as the person in front of me is asking me what should I eat, because they have no fucking clue anymore. And it goes back down to the like simplest things that I said earlier. Adequate protein, lots of vegetables, and a controlled intake of carbohydrates. So how does that fucking look like? Because I'm ranting now. Well, if you are a meat eater like I am, there's nothing wrong with cooking some like scrambled eggs with some turkey bacon and having a little side salad on the side, or making a frickin' omelet with some spinach and red peppers and a piece of whole grain toast. That's all you need. Boom, done. Dinner. I don't know. Some boiled and potatoes with some parsley and some olive oil and a piece of salmon and some steamed vegetables where you throw in all the spices you want. Like, there's like grown-up food. That's all it is. If you want to take it a step further, try to find a pretty decent calorie counter online and get an estimation of where you're at. Start eating like an adult with real food and see how it goes with the calories that you're consuming. After 2 weeks, remeasure your body. Again, I'm not a fan of weighing yourself, but if that's something you want to do, then weigh yourself and see if there's a change. If there's a change, then you keep doing it. The key is just the long game, right? Like, losing weight and keeping it off is equivalent to like you trying to buy a house that's out of your price range. What is the first thing you do? You save a shit ton of money until you can afford it. And it takes time. If you know you can only afford a $800,000 house, but the one that you really want is 1.5, and there's no way in hell a bank is going to give you that much money, what do? You save money, and you calculate, okay, if I save an extra $500 every single month, in 4 years I'll be able to afford that house. Then 4 years is the time frame. Same thing with your body. If you want to lose 10 pounds, give yourself at least a year of hard work, of patience and consistency. That's all it is. People constantly overthink that question, what should I be eating? Right? You haven't tried something that does work long enough. Right? But then here's the caveat with that is, say you do that, but your sleep is shit and you don't move. You will probably not see the result you're looking for. You're probably going to improve other health metrics that you can't physically see, but it's kind of like, pieces to the puzzle to see the whole picture. Food nourishes your body. The body's nourished, so now you can move it more than you usually do. Your body can recover, and you continue to nourish it. And now you need to recover that body from moving it too much with the food and with sleep. And it's like this constant little like circle with those three things going around and round and round. But if one falls off, it's kind of like, a train track. You take one of those train tracks off, your fucking whole train is going to get derailed. So stop like reaching for answers that you're hoping that's going to be like the holy grail that's going to fix everything, because it's so much deeper rooted within us of why we're not successful. And that question of like, what should I eat, really means something else. It means like you have no idea what actually works and you just want some clear, precise information. Like, we need to stop overthinking nutrition. It's quite simple. And again, I'm not saying that's for everyone. There's metabolic syndromes, there's obesity, there's insulin resistant. There's so many other medical stuff that could be happening in your body right now that's way beyond my scope, other than like eat vegetables and protein, that you should seek out professional help where people can actually create a specific plan for you. But for the general pop, usually getting better sleep, moving a little bit more than you do right now, eating like an adult, and doing that for like a year straight, yes, you will see significant results. So I'm going to end it there because I can rant nonstop on this. So if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always here. To DM me, add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to continue giving you the best fitness and health advice out there. Share my podcast with your friends and family. You guys are amazing. Until next time.